Tonight, I want you to imagine something. Imagine a world beyond what human eyes can see. A world where the soul continues its journey, even after the body is gone. Have you ever wondered what truly happens after death? When the body returns to dust, does everything simply end? Or does love, memory, and consciousness continue somewhere beyond this physical world? Ancient spiritual traditions say something extraordinary. They say death is not the end. It is only a doorway. And tonight's story may completely change the way you look at life, family, and the unseen bond between souls. This is the story of a man named Arjun. Arjun lived in Chicago. He was successful, educated, and busy building the kind of life most people dream about. His days were filled with meetings, emails, deadlines, and late-night coffee. Over time, he stopped calling home as often. The traditions he grew up with slowly faded into the background of his life. Prayer became occasional. Family conversations became shorter. And memories of childhood became buried under responsibility. Then one cold winter evening, everything changed. His phone rang unexpectedly. The voice on the other side was shaking. "Arjun, your mother is gone." For a few seconds, the world became silent. No thoughts, no movement, only emptiness. He booked the next flight to India immediately. But when he arrived at the village, the funeral had already taken place. The fire had burned low, and only smoke still rose into the evening sky. Arjun stood there staring at the ashes. A painful truth echoed inside him. He was too late. That night, sleep refused to come. The house felt strangely quiet without his mother's voice. Every corner carried memories. The kitchen where she cooked for him as a child, the small prayer room where she lit incense every morning, the chair where she waited for his phone calls. Unable to rest, Arjun opened an old wooden box beside her bed. Inside were folded clothes, prayer beads, a faded family photograph, and a small handwritten note. It simply said, "My son will always come home." The moment he read those words, tears filled his eyes. For the first time in years, he cried like a child. Hours passed. Then sometime around 3 in the morning, something unusual happened. The room suddenly felt colder. The curtains near the window moved gently, even though there was no wind. Arjun slowly looked up, and in the dim moonlight, he saw a faint glowing figure standing near the doorway. His heart stopped. It was his mother. Not frightening, not dark, not like something from a horror story. She looked peaceful, almost surrounded by soft light. Arjun could barely breathe. "Mom," he whispered. Her voice was gentle. "My son, don't be afraid." Arjun's hands trembled. "How are you here?" he asked. She looked at him with deep love. "The soul does not end with death," she said softly. "The body disappears, but consciousness continues its journey." Arjun stood frozen in disbelief. Then she spoke again. "I am still traveling between worlds. And during this journey, remembrance from loved ones becomes strength for the soul." Arjun didn't understand. "What does that mean?" She smiled gently. "When people pray with love, when they remember their ancestors with gratitude, when they offer water, food, or charity in their name, that energy reaches farther than you can imagine." Tears rolled down Arjun's face. "I should have come earlier," he whispered painfully. His mother's expression softened. "Love is never measured by perfect timing," she replied. "It is measured by sincerity." And slowly, the glowing figure faded into the darkness. The room became silent once again. The next morning, an elderly spiritual teacher from the village visited the house. Without Arjun saying a word, the teacher calmly said, "You saw her last night, didn't you?" Arjun stared in shock. The teacher sat beside him and explained, "In many ancient traditions, it is believed that after death, the soul remains connected. What if death is not the end? What if the moment your body stops breathing, your real journey finally begins?" Ancient spiritual teachings say that after death, the soul does not disappear instantly. It watches, it listens, it remembers. For a brief moment, the soul still stands near the people it loves, unable to speak, unable to touch them, only watching in silence. And then something extraordinary happens. Your entire life begins to replay before you. Not just your actions, but the emotions connected to them. The pain you caused, the kindness you gave, the lies you told, the love you shared. Every moment returns. Because in the end, the universe does not measure success by money, fame, or power. It measures the energy you left in the hearts of others. Some souls move toward peace. Others remain trapped in regret, anger, and attachment. Spiritual wisdom teaches that we do not escape ourselves after death. We finally meet ourselves completely. So maybe the real question is not, what happens after death? Maybe the real question is, what kind of soul are you becoming while you are alive? Because one day, every human being will leave this world behind. And when that moment comes, your soul will carry only three things: your karma, your consciousness, and the love you gave to others. Soft pause. So live carefully, forgive deeply, speak kindly, and remember, the body is temporary, but the soul's journey may be eternal. Pact they leave on our souls. So tonight, before you sleep, think about the people who helped shape your life. Your parents, your grandparents, the loved ones whose sacrifices became the foundation of your future. Maybe true spirituality is not about fear of death. Maybe it is about learning how to honor life. And maybe the deepest prayer is simply gratitude spoken from the heart. If this story touched your soul, take one quiet moment today to remember someone you love who is no longer here. Because sometimes, remembrance itself becomes a bridge between worlds. Om Shanti.